You all probably wondering how I got mixed up in this. Well, hang in there. Egypt, big, old, dusty. Like Oak County, only bigger. Just my kind of holiday. Hey! Ain't having nothing but good fun. All shits and giggles, and then out of fucking nowhere... Boom, baby. Yeah, I know. Fuck just way to start. Well, better buckle up, partner, because that ain't nothing. Oh, guess we're not in Kansas anymore. Oh, must be snookered or something. Oh, fuck, man. Worst hangover ever. Oh. So, this is how you want to play it. Okay, then. Bring it on, you fuckers. Yeah, you might kill me, so what? Dudes like me don't stay dead for long.
Hello, and welcome to Immortal Redneck. I am Annemie, and this is the game we're going to be taking a look at today. So let's just drop right on in. This is, unfortunately, the second time I've had to record this, because apparently my recording software decided that audio was optional last time. But this is a roguelite shooter. First-person shooter, as you can see. There are 3 pyramids, which you go through in order. First the one in the middle, then one of the ones on the side. I've not reached them yet. I'm about 10 hours in, but I like to take things at a steady pace. So, like with all roguelites, these levels are procedurally generated, so there's no way of predicting precise room layouts and so on. There are bosses every so often, every few floors and so on, which are regular, but again their rooms will be in different places and so on. The only thing you get to keep is money. As you can see, I've got almost 10,000 gold, so I'm going to spend it. You've got a whole skill tree here. You've got a few things which just increase your base statistics down here. Or you can increase the gold found, which is actually what I'm going to do. I'm going to max that out.
Shit better be worth it.
You can also increase the amount of healing you'll get from healing items, the amount of ammo you find, and you can also gain another class. That's what these favour ones are, or possibly upgrade them. I'm actually going to get... Ooh, let's get some more defense, actually. I like being protected from damage. What these classes do is they alter some basic stats about you. So this is the class selection screen. So you look at Upis here. They have an active skill and a passive skill. These work just as you might imagine. Active skills have to be activated, passive skills are always on. So Upis gives you temporary invincibility as an active skill, and passive gives you more weapons equipped. Stats also change between different gods. So Arpis has an HP of 208, whereas Neith has one of 200. You also have different layouts, loadouts, to choose from. At the start, you only get access to Redneck, but you unlock the others through the game. I like to be Hathor, because she increases the amount of gold you find, and gold is useful for upgrading. So, in terms of roguelites, I've never really gotten into things like Binding of Isaac, because I like the idea of continual progression, even through levels. So I like Rogue Legacy for that. I really like the way Road Redemption did it. It's just a shame I didn't like the rest of the game. But I like this whole system. You can also buy medallions, which are again buffs. I don't have enough money to buy one, and I've already got one equipped, and you can only have one equipped. You can also lock the layout of the pyramid, and you can get some scrolls. We'll talk about scrolls a bit more later. Let's just enter a pyramid and see how it goes. You lose all of your money as soon as you go in, but that's fine because you end up getting a decent amount of money anyway. So one of my powers, one of the things that I unlocked, not powers, allows me to get a free weapon as soon as I enter, so I'm going to see what this is.
Like that, you could see the
It's a sniper rifle.
USA from here.
I hate sniper rifle in this. I love sniper rifles generally, but in this game, right mouse button is your active power. You don't actually have iron sights, except for sniper rifle, but you have to hold in left mouse button for that, and you move around quite slowly whilst doing that, which makes it quite unwieldy. And I don't know if you can actually exit scope without firing, so I'm not going to be using that. It's going to be running around. Yeah, so the first thing to note is that the artistic design is excellent. It's not particularly photorealistic or even graphically intensive in general. But that's fine, it does what it needs to. And it looks charming whilst doing that. So rooms are fairly similar. You might see at the top there is a little health bar. That is the room's health. You clear a room once that empties out. My health is at the bottom left-hand corner. And you can't leave a room until that happens. Which I initially wasn't too fond of, but I'm actually kind of fine with it now, especially as you kind of need a lot of the items that people are carrying, whether it's money to upgrade yourself later on. If I kill all the people who are standing on top, okay, so let's down there and sticky grenade you. Your explosives can hurt yourself, so you might have to be a little bit careful as I am being, and keep yourself a bit away from those that you're grenading. That's a top tip from me to you. Came through. So a lot of it is just running around, shooting at things. You occasionally find rooms with no health bar. This means that there are no enemies in them. And almost always means that there is a chest. So here we have a chest. See what's in here. Chests tend to have money in them. Mine always have a topaz in them because I unlocked that as an upgrade, which gives me a bit of money. And they will occasionally have scrolls. Scrolls will also drop from enemies. These are usually good, but are occasionally bad, and are almost always interesting. So let's see what this one is. Well, that's useful. Not particularly interesting, but means I can grenade to my heart's content without worrying about getting hit, just as when I talked about friendly fire. Thanks, game. I think that's the exit from this room. I don't think there was another chest up here, was there? Let's just double check. Some rooms have multiple chests. Nah. That means we have to climb all the way up the stairs again. So the top left-hand corner is your mini-map. You can make it bigger and actually properly examine the map in a separate screen, which does pause the game nicely, so you're not too worried about all that. And one of the things I like is that it actually it marks the doors on the top and bottom floors differently. So this is very much... you get shot. For you, bullet for you, bullet for everybody. Oh, those lemon bullet hell things. You don't always have to kill everything in a room. Sometimes if you just kill enough things, the game will say, yeah, you've done enough there. And everything else will die, which is exactly what happened there. But yeah, it's a 2-floor system, and it connects the rooms together in a relatively organic way. So you're not constantly going to get higher and higher. There will only ever be 2 floors, although there are some rooms which might have more than 2 stories, but they won't have doors on any except the 2 permitted stories, shall we say. This is a skill room. This is very similar to, say, fairy chest rooms from Rogue Legacy, where you need to get to the chest whilst fulfilling the condition, in this case, not getting hurt. Other ones might just involve reaching the chest, but as you can see, this is kind of a platforming challenge, avoiding these swinging blades. Let's give it a try. go. Not too difficult. We get another scroll. What is this one? Ha ha ha! Yes, this is one of the more fun ones. This means that every shot has a not insignificant chance of turning an enemy into a chicken. Which is a pretty fun way to kill your enemies, especially the ones that can take more hits. But you get a nice variety of scrolls. There's one which will cause your enemies to explode on death, which will again both hurt you and your enemies. It can be useful for those little bullet sponge minions these sort of for frogs, because you kill one of them and it kills multiple of them. Snipe on that. There we go. One issue with this particular gun, which actually amuses me more than anything else, is the... not this gun doesn't need reloading, this one. Is that it doesn't automatically reload when the clip empties. Don't know what's running away, friendly fires off. Which can lead to you jumping up to an enemy and trying to fire, and then the reload animation kicks in and it just looks like, oh, hello, I just wanted to show you my wonderful reload action. But that amuses me. But some of the... Ah, chicken grenade. But some of the scrolls are vastly more detrimental. Some of them are okay. So there's one which will mean that you can't stop moving, and if you release the controls, you'll keep moving in some direction. It's not just going to send you off in a random direction all the time. That would be unplayable. They disappear when you hit them. And the first hit doesn't actually seem to register damage. I actually need to use that gun, but stuff it, I'm still at max ammo, that's not an issue. So yeah, there's that one, and there's one that will mean that you will only ever run, you can't walk. Now I tend to run everywhere, so again, that's not really... That actually hit them. Oh, we did. Hello, you. So that's not really an issue for me. But ones that got a bit more detrimental are ones similar to... So there's one which means that you can't reload. Unless your clip is empty, obviously. But I say obviously, not necessarily obviously. Okay. So yeah, there's one that means you can't reload. That one's kind of fine. I mean, it's not good, but it's not going to spell the end of your run. But one which I found a bit more aggressively debilitating. Just showing off my elite first-person shooter skills there. Missing an enemy twice from point-blank range. Reload, because I don't want to reload in front of someone's face. Are the ones which stop you from changing weapons unless you run out of ammo for that weapon. That one turned it less fun. There is a scroll which you can get, well, firstly there's a scroll you can get which allows you to decline other scrolls, which is deeply useful. And there's another scroll which just removes all negative effects. But unfortunately I didn't have those for that run. I managed to actually beat one of the bosses still with that scroll active. But it made the run significantly less fun and just made me wait for the next one. In general, though, this game makes failing... It feels like your fault. And it doesn't feel frustrating. It's not like the game's calling you stupid. Or like a cack-handed doofus. It feels like your fault, and it feels like you've been silly. and it makes you want to do it again, and it makes you laugh. You've got some exhilaration at the point right before death, and that keeps going at death. And that's a mark of a great game for me, that it rewards you with happiness even when you've just, so to speak, died. You obviously can't die, you're an Immortal Redneck. But when you get respawned at your crypt with all the levels set back because it's a roguelike. Screwing up here. So the scroll says that chickenation is rare. It seems to happen quite commonly to me. But yeah, at this point you've now actually seen quite a lot of the game. In terms of feel, shall we say. It's a lot of exploring rooms, it's a lot about finding chests, it's a lot about skill rooms. That's not where I want to be. I want to be precisely on. That's where I want to go. Okay.
This is just like Joe's done.
Dang. As you can see, it can occasionally get quite bullet hell. Can I get there? Yes, I can. So it's got some platforming sections as well. Yeah, both those drop scrolls. But you've just noticed a couple of the things which make the first-person platforming less horrific. Firstly, I think you can get up to quad jumps. I've only got double jump unlocked at the moment. But I think there's a scroll which will give you additional jumps, and there might be a god which gives you additional jump or something like that. So you can jump a lot. Carry additional weapon, that's good. And, well, that's okay. Not actually got a bad effect yet. So. And the other thing is that your character mantles. So, you're not just feeling like you just missed a jump. You will actually, as you see there, get up there. I mean, that was a jump that of course I was going to make, because it's right stepped up there. But it's these little things which make a huge difference to feel. It doesn't feel frustrating. How did that frog get up there? Yeah. Oh, there's stairs there. That explains it. It doesn't feel frustrating to play. It feels exhilarating. You've got a large variety of different weapons. They all handle pretty differently. So I quite like the weapons I've currently got. I like having a selection of something precise, something rapid fire, and then something a bit different. I can be convinced on any of the others. Oop. Well, that was just rude. But this is a setup that I've grown to like, although I'll happily accept other weapons in there. Some of them are not for me. Other characters do feel really quite weak, so there's the healing goddess, whose attack is way down, which for me made her fairly unusable. I think that might change once leveling up has happened, and I think if memory serves, she gets more HP for every room you've explored, which is an interesting power. And I like that a lot of the gods do feel pretty different. So here is one of the ways up to the next floor. You'll find usually between 1 and 2, maybe 3 stairs up on any given map. I tend to like exploring everything, but I think there's just that bit in there which I've not quite got yet. So stuff will go up. But I think I've about said all I want to about this game. It makes me feel happy, which is more than I can say about Road Redemption. Road Redemption felt like I was, if I started losing it, felt death spirally. Here, health regenerates you decently, particularly after you upgrade it, so it doesn't feel like you're getting like your death is inevitable, even though it is. It always feels like your fault, like you could have done something better. And that it's not the game being unreasonable. Even when I enter a room with barely any health, I know that there's a chance that I can get through, and it's not an unreasonable chance. Ah! Yes, I've forgotten about this. If you've not actually seen an enemy in a while, the game will actually make them glow bright red through the walls for you, so you're not actually spending ages hunting for an enemy while it's also chasing you around in some sort of weird game of cat and mouse. And this game is filled with sensible design decisions, with also a good amount of creativity. The scrolls, for instance, have huge variety and are fun. And while sometimes you might feel like, oh, I've gotten this scroll so my run is over, there is always next time. Another thing I should mention actually is that I've only experienced one crash of this game, and I was a little bit frustrated at that point because that was actually a really good run I was on, and I actually done really quite well on that particular floor. And I was a little bit bummed out. I was like, oh, okay, it's fine, it's a single crash, it happens. Particularly in indie games, you kind of expected a bit more, and yeah, it's fine. But no, it actually has a good autosave feature. It kicked me back to the start of the level, but it actually maintained my progress throughout the level, which I was not expecting. So I still had all my money, I still all my stuff, all my exploration. All that I'd really lost was the progress of the room that I was actually in at the time. Which, as you can see from all the rooms I've gone through here, that's not actually that much progress. You go through rooms fairly quickly, and it's not really an issue. So, if you think that you're the sort of person that's going to enjoy this game, you almost certainly will. If you're not usually into first-person shooters, so first-person shooters aren't my preferred genre, that's fine. If there's a good first-person shooter, I will play it and I will enjoy it, but I got a little bit bored in Bioshock Infinite, I got a little bit bored in Wolfenstein. They're not entirely...
Adrian, I'm ready for another round.
Shots there. Oh, I've got an extra stop, that's fine then. Now they've got infinite ammo, but they're not particularly strong, as you would imagine. So they're quite good for sort of strafing around a room when you first enter it before you... Ah, this doesn't actually have enemies, it's just a chest room. Got this stuff. Oh, this is an irritating one. Oh, what have I got? That looks like a blunderbuss pistol type thing. Huh. No, I've not seen that one before. That's Tesla coil, tranquilizer gun. Get rid of that.
Energy gloves!
Energy gloves, sorry. You might still enjoy it even if you regularly wouldn't like first-person shooters. It's bitty, you can dip in and out. And that's very much a plus for me. But yeah, it's not that expensive, it's well designed, so I would recommend, even if you don't think you'd like it, giving it a try. Maybe wait for a sale, but it's good. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and a subscribe, and I'll be able to make more of these videos then, hopefully. If you didn't, well then, I'm sorry, leave a comment in the comments. Maybe with something that you'd rather see than this, or something like that. Constructive criticism is always useful, but I know it's difficult to ask from the internet. But anyway, regardless of whether you liked it or not, I hope that you have a lovely rest of your day. Goodbye!